What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Sammy V Sessions, episode 5. I might stop counting once we get to 10, but I haven't decided yet. So, episode 5. Away we go. This week has been a very busy week in music, so we're just going to jump right into it. Before I say anything, there's a lot of opinions that I'm going to tell you of my own. Remember that they are my opinions, and opinions are like assholes. Everybody has one. If you'd like to share your differing opinion in the comments, that's fantastic. But just know these are all my opinions. None of this is fact. And like Wendy Williams would say, I'm a woman and I'm allowed to change my mind. So I might feel like this is my opinion today, but tomorrow I might change my mind. But these are my opinions of today. So I hope you stay along because there's a lot to talk about in music this week. First things first, radio is definitely not what it used to be. So many shows have changed over time, but something very important happened this week. Hot 97, Ebro used to be in the morning and they changed him out. I don't know what happened. I didn't get into like the ins and outs of what happened to Ebro, what happened to that show. Was it canceled? Did they just stop the show? But Sir Funkmaster Flex is now the morning DJ. I said that right. Sir Funkmaster Flex is now the morning DJ. So if you're not from New York and you don't know who Funkmaster Flex is, Funkmaster Flex is, say what you want about him, but he's an iconic New York City radio DJ. He might do stuff outside of radio, but I know him from radio, and he's known for dropping flex bombs, like boom, 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 and like that's kind of like an air horn sound I was just making, but like just like think about like constant bombs dropping. Your favorite part of the song is coming up, and here goes Flex dropping bombs. Now, who decided that that needs to be at 7 a.m. in the morning? I have questions for you. I have deep questions for you. Like Hot 97, was this an experiment? Were you just trying things out? Were you like, we really don't have anybody else. Maybe Flex was looking for a morning shift. Maybe he was trying to get out of the graveyard shift or whatever time he works. But I'm very interested to see how this goes. I feel like everything has a time and a place. And Flex screaming at 7 o'clock in the morning is just not the time nor the place. I haven't listened to Hot 97 in the morning in a very long time. And I don't think I will start with Flex being in the morning. I just don't have the mental capacity at that time to listen. I don't have the mental capacity to listen to him later on in the day, let alone at 7 o'clock in the morning. Let's get into other music this week. The Weeknd secured a catalog deal for $1 billion for all of his work from 2025 and before. So a lot of clickbaits were saying like The Weeknd sold his catalog. He didn't sell it. He didn't lose the rights to his music either, and he still has creative control over his work. The $1 billion catalog was like a partnership with Lyric something. I can't think of the name right now, but it's a partnership for somebody else to like not control. I don't know it's a $1 billion partnership of The Weeknd's music. And that's important to know, to say The Weeknd, because The Weeknd is now going by his first name, Abel. And anything he does from here forward will be done as Abel and not his alter ego of The Weeknd. So when record sales usually happen like this, it's either because the artist has passed away and the estate wants to sell off rights, ownership, whatever, to the music catalog. So now I feel like him making this deal, this $1 billion deal, was his closing chapter to The Weeknd, and now he can move on to something fresh. His $1 billion catalog is in good company, though. Michael Jackson and Queen are two other $1 billion catalogs. I said this to my husband, too. I think in a few years, another person that might have $1 billion catalog, along with Bad Bunny, could be Drake. I know some of you are like, Drake, but no, could be Drake. Could be. I don't want you to hold me to that because a lot of you are going to have differing opinions. But like I said in the beginning, this is my opinions. You can agree, you could disagree, but these are my opinions. Thank you so much. What are you making that face about?
You bugging.
But I'm bugging? Why am I bugging?
OVO, you wildin'.
OVO, okay, but we could talk all day about who has $1 billion catalogs, but that's my opinion. I think Drake also has $1 billion catalog. In addition to The Weeknd closing the chapter of his alter ego, Fade, aka FERXXO, is also closing the chapter of his alter ego FERXXO and his green persona. In this last week, he released his documentary in theaters in Colombia called The End, El Principio del Fin. So the beginning of the end. I've been reading online. It's available to everyone for free. I can't find it anywhere. I would love to watch it, but I can't find it anywhere. The spark notes I've gotten from it are he's going in a new direction. I think his new persona is going to be just fade and like have like a black color surrounding it versus FERXXO with his green persona. I'm excited to see what happens, even though I'm going to miss the FERXXO era that I got put onto a little later, but I'm excited to see what happens from that. A couple of episodes ago, it might have been in my first episode, I talked about how Prince Royce and Romeo Santos dropped a joint album together. So they're still on their press tour. They were on the New York Times Popcast. And the clickbait you might be seeing on this episode is them questioning why they've never been invited to SNL and that bachata is a super underrated genre. I do believe that bachata is underrated, and I do think that there are a lot of people worldwide that listen to it. But the SNL part, here's my thing. As a Latina from New York, I 100% agree. They definitely could have done SNL. The music they make is the soundtrack to a lot of our lives here in New York and maybe anywhere else where you live where there's a lot of Latinos. He mentions that he sold out Yankee Stadium, MSG, and MetLife. So why shouldn't he be on SNL? I don't think he thought that through when he said that, because SNL is not just a New York platform. You mentioned 3 New York area, Yankee Stadium, MSG, MetLife, 3 New York area arenas, stadiums, and then mentioned SNL. And SNL is not just for New York. SNL is a worldwide platform. A lot of people watch SNL. So just because you're selling out this niche genre, bachata, which you've even said was niche on this podcast, does not mean that entitles you to SNL. Yeah, you picking up what I'm putting down. I feel like he didn't like think that part through. You need to be feeding the masses. Like, for you to be on SNL, you need to be able to reach masses in like Minnesota, in Kentucky, in all of these, but maybe not Kentucky. I don't think Kentucky watches SNL, but you need to be able to feed the masses. And I don't think bachata's at that point. Even when Romeo was at like the top of the top, we were listening to him everywhere, and bachata was like a highlight to parties and all of this in New York. I don't think worldwide media and like mainstream media was prepared for non-English music. It just wasn't. Like, yeah, we did have the likes of like Enrique Iglesias, Shakira, and others, but I think he's comparing to where Latino artists can take themselves now to where he was back then. And I think that's the biggest problem with what he was trying to say. Back then, even Prince Royce said it. He said that he had released Corazon Sin Cara. It flopped. He then released Stand By Me with the bachata beat behind it and English lyrics. That took off, and then they re-released Corazon Sin Cara. And now that we knew who he was, we would listen to that song. Now, does that have to do with the fact that it's a Spanish song? Maybe. Does that have to do with how your label introduced you to everybody? Maybe. There's a lot of things that go into it that I don't think were kind of highlighted here. Today we have groundbreaking artists that know how to, either them, their team, whoever it is, they know how to break that barrier, that language barrier, and reach out to fans, even if they don't speak their language. You got Bad Bunny, you got Karol G, you got Rosalia now with all of her languages, it's not even Spanish, and you got Young Miko. Young Miko was on a podcast I was watching this week, I think with Chente. She was on a podcast watching this week. She opened for Billie Eilish. Somebody that does not speak in Spanish, she opened her shows for her. And she sees in the crowd signs like, Young Miko, I'm learning how to speak Spanish so I can sing your songs. Maybe it's a sign of the times. Maybe the public is different and more willing to accept different artists in different languages. Or maybe these people just have the talent to, or the pull, the reach to break barriers. I don't think Romeo or Prince Royce are at that level. And like I said, a lot of people are going to get mad at my opinion, but this is my opinion. I don't think they're at that level. That's no shade, no hate. Y'all are legends of your own. But there's something the both of them are missing. And I'm going to say a bunch of words because I can't get the exact one. Maybe they're missing gusto, gana, influence. There's something they're missing that they aren't on the same level as these huge artists. Maybe their time has just passed. I'm sorry to say it. Sometimes you just got to hang it up. Didn't Romeo Santos retire and then come back? Didn't you say you were going to step off and then come back? Maybe you saw the results of all of this that's going on. And to think about it, he also said on there that he started this, which he did, which trying to do the English crossover. He had songs with Usher. He had songs with Drake. He had all different kinds of songs trying to break that barrier. But like one of the podcasters said first, I don't know which one. I was listening to audio. I wasn't watching the video, so I don't know who said it. They said, well, being first comes at a price. You open the doors for all of these things to happen now, but you can't go back in time and fix it, right? I wasn't going to say this, but since we're giving my opinions, and maybe some of you will agree with me, the entire interview was giving woes me and haterade. Oh, it was so bad. I think the entire 1 hour and 30 minutes or like an hour and 20 minutes, maybe Prince Royce spoke a full 10 minutes. I feel like Romeo took that interview and just ran with it and like made it his own. I don't know. It was definitely giving hater. Or maybe I'm the hater because I also said the album wasn't great. It could be a bunch of different things. But when you're listening to me speak, if you did not watch the interview, I don't want to hear your argument. Period. If you did not watch the interview, if you did not see the interactions, if you did not hear his answers, I don't want to hear your argument. Go watch the interview and watch it beginning to end because it's very important that you keep up with how he's acting in that entire video. I just think Romeo Santos should sit back and enjoy being a legend and celebrate with the rest of us instead of worrying about why you're not invited to SNL. Seriously. I just think you should sit back, enjoy the fruits of your initiative, watching all these Latino artists take off and be global and worldwide. And we got Benito doing the Super Bowl. I don't know. Stop being a hater, bro. You had your time. You had your time. Your peak has come and gone. And sometimes you just got to sit there and accept it. Okay, so 2025 is coming to an end. And I want to highlight a few albums that I think we moved on way too quick from in 2025. The first one, Swag and Swag 2. Swag by Justin Bieber to be specific. Swag dropped July 11th. I feel like it was a blip in the summertime and then it was gone. Maybe because it wasn't like a summery vibe when it dropped. I think it probably would have done better if he dropped it like late August. It's kind of got like a slow, like cozy vibe to it so we could have it in the fall and the winter time. Maybe he shouldn't have dropped Swag right behind it because he did drop Swag 2 on September 5th. I think there was a lot to digest there, especially because we haven't heard from Justin Bieber in a little while. That like 2 albums was a lot, but definitely we moved on too quick. Unfortunately, it lived for a little blip in time and then it was gone. My favorite song from either album is Yukon. Then we got my girl Karol G, Tropico Quieta. She dropped it on June 20th. I think the main problem with this album was that it did not have a tour. Which, by the way, she just chopped all her hair off. What's happening, girl? Is this a new era? Are we getting a new single, a new album? Are you going on tour now after dropping the album 6 months ago? Something's going to happen, y'all. We got short hair now. Something is happening, whether it's drastic or not, but something's changing with Karol G. I love the short hair, by the way. It looks great. So back to Tropico Quieta. Latina Forever got a lot of love. Verano Rosa got a lot of love with Fade. But I feel like a lot of the album was slept on. 2 songs I think were really slept on. Cuando me muero te olvido. 100%. That song has the Careless Whisper sample if you heard it. And Fucking Movie with Mariah Angelique. 2 songs really slept on. It had a little blip on TikTok, especially Fucking Movie. But that entire album, beginning to end, I absolutely loved it. My favorite song on that album, though, is Dile Luna. If you haven't heard it, you should go listen to it. All right, my girl Cardi, Am I the Drama, dropped on September 19th. Moved on way too fast from this album. When she first dropped it, it was a lot of, yay, Cardi's back. But I feel like a lot surrounding the album, a lot of stuff surrounding the album really blocked us from enjoying the album. Let's see. She has her new boyfriend. She had a baby. She had that court case. Like, I feel like that was a lot of publicity for the album when it was coming out, especially because she's like, Am I the Drama? The title was perfect, everything going around. But I feel like everything else had distracted us from that album. I think we need to run it back. When she goes on tour, when the tour starts, which I'm hoping she's able to go, baby's fine, she's fine, and she can actually tour this album, I think it's going to have a reoccurrence. My favorite song on that album is Bodega Batty. It makes me feel like I'm in a bodega singing, rapping while I'm waiting for my sandwich, and I'm talking to the cat manager. That song just gives me all the feels. I just wish it was longer than 1 minute and 44 seconds long. I wish it should have been like double the time. It would have been perfect if it was like 3 minutes long, but we got 1 minute and 45 seconds. Oh, 44 seconds, excuse me. It's too short. It's a banger and should have been longer. Maybe somebody go on the remix. Maybe you add a minute with like somebody else's verse. That would have been cool. Last album I want to talk about that was slept on this year. Cosa Nuestra, Capítulo Zero by Raúl Alejandro. That dropped on September 26th. I really loved Cosa Nuestra that was dropped earlier in the year. Actually, maybe it was at the end of 2024 that dropped. But this second album, the second project that came out of Cosa Nuestra, I feel like it did not get as much love. And I think, like, if Cosa Nuestra is here with my favorite, like, Cosa Nuestra Capítulo Zero is right here, like, right underneath it. And I feel like it has a lot more, like, reggaeton vibes that I really love, which is why I probably like that album just as much, if not the same. I love how Rao sounds when he's rapping, singing, anything. I love listening to his music because he has such a great voice. And I feel like both albums really highlight the range of what he can do with his voice. There was a little noise around Carita Linda and also Buenos Terminos, but the rest of the album is fire too. I feel like we moved on too quick. My favorite song from that album is Contrabando. Favorite. I think it was with Ningyo Flow. I'm probably pronouncing his name wrong, but I can't say it. It's because the first letter is an Nye, and that always it's I can't. My bad, y'all. Spanish is definitely not my first language, so you're gonna have to forgive me for that one. But if you could pronounce it, or if you could find a way to pronounce it, let me know. Okay, so with all of those albums that I feel like was slept on this year, the next time you hear a great song, I challenge you to go back to the album that it came from. If it came from an album, if it's a single, obviously you can't go back to the album, but a lot of us get so hooked with a single and we never go back to take time to listen to the entire project that it came from. Some of my favorite songs are never songs that hit the charts. They're just like hidden little gems in an album. So the next time you're like, oh, I really like this song, go back, listen to the album. Take time to listen to the album. All right. Today's Saturday. I'm going to see the Jonas Brothers on Monday. I'm so excited to go see the Jonas Brothers. I can't wait to bring you that episode. So with that being said, song of the week is, I want to get this right. Song of the week is Jonas Brothers, Backwards, from their latest album, Greetings from Your Hometown. If you have not listened to that album yet, please go listen to it. It's really great. It's definitely belting, like, out notes and lyrics instead of like twerking and rapping. It's obviously not that. It's the Jonas Brothers, but it's got a mature vibe to it now that they're older, but they're still bringing us great music. So make sure you go listen to Backwards, listen to the entire album, Greetings from Your Hometown. That's it for me today, y'all. Love you. Catch you next time.